According to Hinduism, there are great cycles of rise and decline, creation and destruction. Each cycle is called kalpa. Each kalpa consists of 2000 mahayugs or great periods. Each mahayug consists of 4 yugs or ages, each of diminishing length. According to Hinduism, the current age is the fourth and final yug of a mahayug, and this era is called Kaliyuga. The Kaliyuga will last 1200 cosmic years or 432,000 years according to our calendar. Kaliyuga is believed to be an age of great strife, disorder, and decadence, and it will lead to the great conflagration. However, according to Hinduism, with the advent of Kalki, who is believed to be the 10th and final avatar of Lord Vishnu, golden age of Kaliyuga will start. Each Yug cycle is part of a greater cycle called Brahma cycle. Lord Brahma is the supreme god in Hinduism. He is the source of all things and is part of Trimurti, which also include Vishnu, the great preserver, and Shiv, who is the great destroyer. Each Brahma cycle will last 100 Brahma years. Now, what is the duration of one Brahma year? We have no idea. The Brahma cycle will end up destroying everything: cosmos, demons, gods, and even Brahma himself. Then a new Brahma will be born, and with him a new Brahma cycle, and then under it several Yuga cycles will start. In Hinduism, there is also the notion of personal eschatology, which consists of the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. And this cycle operates under the principle of karma, according to which one's actions determines one's future life. Based on one's action, a person is sent to heaven or hell for some time, after which they are born again, and on the basis of their actions in the past life, they may be assigned to a higher or lower level or even higher or lower life form. This cycle continues until one gets liberation called moksha. In Buddhism, which also originated in India, there is no notion of cosmic. However, there is a notion of personal eschatology. Nirvana, which in Sanskrit language means extinction, is release from the cycles of birth and suffering through eightfold ethical path. And this path is depicted and shown on the screen. However, according to one variety of Buddhism called Mahayana Buddhism, which is very popular in East Asia, there is the notion of Maitreya Buddha or the final Buddha. The final Buddha will descend from the heaven to set up a golden age. Taoism is an ancient Chinese religion, and it also has within the system the notion of cyclic eschatology. Tao itself is a mystical and paradoxical notion. Tao or Thou is nothingness. It is the nameless, but this nothingness latently contains within it everything. According to Taoism, everything issues from Tao and returns to it. According to Taoism, the original state was that of purity, which may be compared to the proverbial state of nature. The rise of civilization is seen as decadence. The civilization continues to develop until it reaches its peak, and then the original purity is restored again and the cycle starts. A very important notion in Taoism is that of yin and yang, the two cycles, the two overlapping cycles, which symbolize positive and negative energy, day and night, life and death, hot and cold. The opposites are mutually necessary. The notion of circular eschatology is also present in the ancient Greek philosophy of Stoicism in the form of eternal recurrence or living the same life endlessly. According to Stoics, God forms the world and then takes it back into himself. There is an unending series of world construction and destruction. Each new world resembles its predecessor in all particular details, and every individual leads the same life and performs identical actions in each life endlessly. Whether one is a billionaire or a homeless, one has led the same life in the past life and will have the same kind of life in all its detail in all the future life. So once a pauper or once a billionaire, always a pauper and always a billionaire. Now, what is the difference between Stoic and Hindu notions of circular eschatology? The Stoic world is a world of necessity in which there is no freedom but only determinism. On the other hand, in Hinduism, future life depends on the actions that we perform in present life according to the law of karma. Therefore, in Stoic world, there is no escape from the world of necessity or from the cycle of birth, rebirth and death. However, in Hinduism, there is a possibility of release from the cycle of birth and death through moksha. For Stoics, freedom consists in assenting to whatever happens or the natural or divine order. The reign of necessity was termed by Stoics fate or destiny. The 19th century German philosopher Nietzsche, his view of eternal recurrence, as now must be clear to you, is based on the Stoic notions. I trust you like this video. The next video will explain linear eschatology. Thanks for watching the video, and please do share this video and subscribe to my channel Wisdom of Life. Thanks.